Hello, I'm Christy Johns from Australian Online News, and today we want you to meet a local legend here at Moreton Anglican College. Her name is Rathbone, and she's been teaching for 65 years, sharing her wisdom with 3 generations of Australians, and she's just won a prestigious award for outstanding teaching.
Del's a bit of a living legend of this school community. She's been here for many, many years and known by generations of our families and students. And she's done so much for so many people that she's just one of those rare treasures that we are so fortunate to have.
We honestly think she's a living treasure. With 66 years, well, pretty well in any profession, but for teaching, which is quite challenging and emotionally taxing, it's just an extraordinary effort. So we're incredibly proud of her and very blessed to have her at Westmac.
Our objective was to recognise her when we nominated her, and we're very happy that that's happened.
She just has this remarkable ability to identify to diagnose the learning needs of an individual child. For 82, most of us are long retired or would hope to be long retired by then, but here she is every day working with the kids that she loves, and they love her in return.
It's a remarkable achievement. It's the first time I've ever heard or known about anybody that's had that longevity in the profession. So that in itself is meritorious, I think.
And she gets up at 3:30 every morning and does her corrections of their drafts, so that when she arrives at 7 a.m, that work is already done and then she can go through with the students. I really can't see that she ever wants to leave, and certainly a lot of the international students say, we'll stay as long as Mrs. Rathbone stays.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 2020 Mercurial Professor Betty Watts OBE Memorial Award for Outstanding Contribution to Teaching is Rathbone.
I was very humbled by it because one teacher can't do much. We're just part of a whole community. Parents are important, other teachers are important. I couldn't do what I do if I couldn't go to the maths department or the science department and say, can you help me modify this, or can you give me a lesson in this so that I can help a student? I'm just lucky I'm in a school that's open-minded enough to say age doesn't really wipe you out.
What's been the highlight of your career?
Well, this, obviously. Totally unexpected, because, I just thought if anyone's going to look at an 80-year-old and put you straight in the rubbish bin.
No.
But this whole award situation has made me remember kids. It's not that I've forgotten them, but you always work in the present, because if you've got 10 kids in front of you all wanting something, it's not much use saying, well, 50 years ago I did this. But remembering the kids and getting contact from a lot of the kids, it's made me feel truly happy. But most of them, check in. You said last year was going to be your last year, Mrs. Rathbone. Did you come back?
When are you going to retire?
I don't know. Because COVID is really having an impact on our international education programs. So maybe that will finish me, or the legs will give out. The other day I got a contact from one of the, not an international student, but a vision impaired student that I had, with a photo of himself with this great big bushy beard. And he's even found a way of sending a good photo because he stood in front of a mirror so that he could get a good shot. There's been big changes in class sizes. There's been enormous changes in teacher training. You're unlikely to find a classroom anywhere in Queensland now that hasn't got at least some means of cooling. Or my first classroom, we had a little wood heater for winter in the room, and that was the only concession to changing seasons that we had.
How did you cope with technology changing through that time?
I wouldn't say I'm in the forefront of technological advancement, but I'm in the mix there somewhere towards their back.
but you don't bring out the overhead projector anymore.
No, the overhead projector had a lot going for it. Slow learner. I started school at 4 and at 80 I still haven't got myself out. I have more structure in my life and more things to do than a lot of people who retire.
Do you remember the rat bags over the years?
I can tell you about one group of rat bags. They hadn't ever had a female teacher, and I was sort of in my early 30s at the time, and they were the top of the primary school football teams. There were a few in the Queensland Rugby League team, and they decided it would be a joke to put a mouse in my drawer.
A real one?
A real mouse, yes.
Oh, wow, okay.
However, I came from the country, so I had mice running all over your floor, tables and chairs all having to sit in dishes of water. So I picked it up by the tail, threw it in the waste paper basket. They never tried anything on me again after that. I've just had a good time. I love teaching. I think it's a great job.